Hi, my name is Ryan Taylor and I'm a wildlife, nature, and landscape photographer from Beavercreek, Ohio in the Dayton area. And this is just my first video. I want to let you know kind of what to expect from this channel. Nature photography is great, you know, I get to explore art and just it's a lot of fun and I can't wait to share it with the world. Alright, hello and welcome back to On Location, everyone. Today I'm at Virgillato Park. This location is a little bit more sentimental, I guess, in a way, especially pertaining to this YouTube channel. Simply because I actually filmed my first, well actually second technically, video, at least the first one in the field, at this location. And I'm actually walking up to the spot in the specific tree I filmed the video at. So yeah, it's a little bit of a sentimental spot. It's a very, very small park here in my hometown. It's literally like a few minutes away from where I live currently, and is named after the first JC Beavercreek president chapter. Like most parks, it's named after a person pretty much. But anyways, it's a whopping 9.2 acres, so it's very, very small, but this would be a nice way to ease back into, you know, going to new and old locations all the same. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's just a really blank sky though. As you can tell, it's just very kind of bland as we're here in the, you know, start of a new year and in the middle of winter here in January. But so pretty much to start off with, I actually just came from the parking lot, parked all the way over there. I almost rode my bike, but you know, I just decided against it. It's a little bit too cold for me, honestly. But as you can see, it's like this wide open field, and it has like a fence line that almost looks like kind of like a baseball diamond, like this used to be a baseball field, maybe. But anyways, yeah, by the parking lot there is giant children's playground and stuff like that, all colorful and nice. That could actually be kind of cool. Some of my first images I've taken, really like non-nature stuff, were actually at that little playground. I'm just doing some weird kind of patterns and abstracts and stuff. So yeah, pretty cool stuff like that, I guess. But anyways, the real reason I'm here is there's a very, very small, albeit couple just little trails and breakaways, and there's a little bit of like a bridge and a creek crossing down over here. But yeah, first you have to cross this field that's all the way, you know, behind me now. But then you get all the way to these kind of like this expanse over here, and the tree I actually did is right, that one still has a little bit of leaves on it. And so yeah, there's all these different kinds of trees, some boulders, looks like over here. There's like a weird shelter over there. And there's actually the specifically the dead tree that I did a 4 seasons tree project on. So yeah, this park is like, it's very, very small, like I said, but it's very close to where I live, and it has a lot of both big and small, I think, sentimental value to it. So yeah, it's a nice little park, and I'm actually looking forward to. It might be a challenge, honestly, but I may try see if I can nab a photograph or two, of course, for this video here. So yeah. A little bit of trail. I even seen deer over here, just against this tree line. Like I said, you can kind of walk this little expanse over here, but yeah, it's only, you know, less than 10 acres, so it's really nothing too big. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead start hiking around. Other than that, that's really all the information I have about this park, just because it's not the most historical and all that. It is very, very small, so there isn't much to it. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. I guess we'll actually look at the tree. I think it's this one over here. It's where I filmed my first video. It's actually the channel introduction is what it's called. You can still look it up. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad by my standards, I think. Like today, what I'd make and all that. I was so nervous about making it. Had lots of cuts in it. It took so long. And I actually filmed it about this time of year, 2 years ago. So that's pretty neat. Yeah. So that can come full circle, I guess. Yeah, there's a tree. Pretty cool. So just think, I stood in this very, very spot filming the video. Isn't that crazy? I think so, at least. But all right, I'll go ahead and take some photographs here and we'll see what we can do. So I'm at this bridge now. It's a pretty decent bridge, I guess. It's a little wonky because it's probably not quite repaired, or missing a railing right there, stuff like that. So, but it works. You can cross it. It actually takes you to some backyards over behind me here. So there really isn't that much trail. I made it sound like there was trail, but it's really not too much. It just takes you over this little bridge crossing over the creek, or mostly dried up. There's a little bit of water in it, but other than that, that's pretty much it for it. But yeah, it's just some really bare woodland, especially like I said, this time of year. And I'm just finding the real challenge is that like my problem is really with winter is that if there's no snow, it can be very difficult. If you're not doing birds, let's say, but if you're trying to do like a landscape or something, it's very, very difficult when there's no snow, because everyone likes snow, at least for the most part. In photographs, it's really pretty, and it adds like a lot of kind of like fall color. It adds a lot of just like zest and variety to your photographs. But if you remove that and there is no snow, which I feel like I want to get more snow shots as it is, but it's just timing it, if anything, especially if it's fresh snow without footprints and all that stuff. It's just really, it can be difficult. It can be a little tricky to really schedule and align up those events with really what is the weather, and what happens. But when there is no snow like this, and all the trees, and this is a big thing with woodland, is that all the trees kind of start to look really bare, and it can be really difficult to find a compelling photograph to take, at least in a spot such as this. So it's hard to try to find something to really photograph here, at least one shot, because I firmly believe it doesn't matter the location. It's the whole point of these on location videos, big and small, underdeveloped, overdeveloped, it's just any location, outdoors, out in nature, whether it's in an urban setting or a metro park, or it's a really rugged backcountry kind of wilderness setting. Doesn't matter. I feel like I firmly believe that there's a photograph in everything, or anywhere, and it may not be the best one you take, but it might not be the worst either. So you really just don't know unless you take it. But first you have to find it. So I'm getting a little philosophical here, but I'll just leave it at that. So yeah, I don't know, I've already checked out pretty much all I can do, and then giving the lighting conditions, which are definitely looking like they're not going to change at all today. It's probably going to be consistently cloudy and overcast like this, which, I mean, it works out because it's going to be much more diffuse lighting, which I always prefer, because I do like this boring flat light for the most part. But I just really wish there was like a nice sunrise or something vibrant that would make this woodland just glow with color. But unfortunately, there just really wasn't the case. So it is what it is. So I'm thinking now that I've really checked out the location, the real challenge, as I keep saying, is just to find a shot, find something to take. I don't want to force it too. That's the other thing. You have to script that fine line, have that balance of, you don't want to just be too gung-ho and just, take a shot just for the sake of it. And at least in my case, for the sake of the video. But also, I feel like it's a little bit of a challenge, It's a challenge to find something out there and yeah, photograph it accordingly. So yep, I'm gonna probably go out to the open field over here. I kind of like these really old growth trees that are just hanging out in this open field, and luckily the local park district keeps, or at least has kept them, even if they cut the lawn or grass that's out there with the shelter and the old growth trees. So yeah, keeping preserving nature, I guess, which is pretty nice. But anyways, so I think I'm gonna go out here and try something, or maybe I just don't need to think wide angle, and maybe try something a little more intimate. I could pull out like a small telephoto zoom lens, or even a 50mm prime, and try something a little bit more cropped in maybe. So that's also an idea, and that might be one I consider too. But now I'm back out here. I don't know. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. I mean, I guess that's the joy of doing these videos and such. It's a challenge. All right, so I think I found my potential shot for the day here. I'm just gonna take this one tree shot, just because it's really not, I'm not feeling too inspired at the moment, I guess. given the, granted the conditions. It's a nice calm morning, don't get me wrong, but it's just, there isn't too much going on besides some crows cawing in the background, as they were a minute ago. But yeah, I'm going to try out this tree shot. It's gonna be a little bit different because I'm really going to be cropping it a little bit tighter, even though I'm using a wide angle lens, because as you can see, it's a very large tree, of course. But there's lots of these nice auburn leaves that are on the bottom half of it, and so I guess what I'm really trying to do here is I'm really trying to capitalize on that aspect in the image here. And so I'm going to do a 24mm wide angle lens. So as you can see, I'm quite a few feet away from the tree itself, but I am pointing, slightly tilting the wide angle lens up, and I'm going to try out that look there, just because the top of the tree, I mean, it is nice, and it's just got a nice spread over across of it, the whole tree. I believe it's a white oak, by the way. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it is. But yeah, there isn't too much going on the upper half at the top, at least with the leaves, and so I'm going to try out something with that. Maybe later on when I post-production with the image, I may try to dodge and burn and really bring out those leaves a little bit more, because it is a nice little kind of splash of color, because there isn't much leaves obviously right now that are on trees. I'm gonna try out the shot here. I'm probably gonna go with a vertical. I'm thinking a vertical might be best for this image, and I may or may not bracket it just so I can get a nice overall exposure, or I might just get something kind of the middle ground, where I don't blow out the highlights that would be the sky behind the tree, and I don't underexpose the tree trunk where it just becomes this deep shadow and silhouette, which is not really what I'm going for with this shot. I'd rather have everything well exposed in the frame. So that being said, I'm going to try it here. Obviously I'm going to have my camera mounted on a tripod here. As you see, I can always back up more towards the tree line that's behind me here, which is basically like a natural fence line into the houses and other people's property, because I'm kind of nestled in between this entire park. At least this part of the area is just kind of in between houses on this side and houses on this side, in a church, but still. So yeah, I'm gonna try out this shot. Yeah, go ahead and try it at least. We'll see what happens. All right, so first off, I gotta switch out the orientation of camera body. I'm gonna go in vertical. The nice thing about having an L bracket, a very affordable solution to switching from vertical and horizontal orientation, I find it essential for what I do, especially landscapes in this particular. So this looks too far away. I mean, it's a nice look. Hey, I'll try it. I'll see what happens here. So so currently I'm at 15th of a second, f8 and ISO 400, and I'm probably going to keep the ISO around there. Actually, I'm going to bump it to 500. I might do 640 that is, and see if that's any better. As you can see, I am on the exposure meter. I am way at the dead middle for what the camera reads. That's the camera meter, but that's not always true, of course. As you can see, it's very underexposed. At least it brings the sky into balance with the exposure, but that, like I was just saying, the tree trunk is going to be very underexposed if I do take this shot here. But honestly, I might just bracket it like I said. So there we go, took the shot, and it is okay. I'm going to slow down that shutter a lot more, and I slow down the shutter for about 2 stops of light. As you can see, it overexposes the sky, but that's okay, because computer magic, and some post-processing software will allow me to actually bring it all together, at least compile these 2 bracketed shots and to make it into one. So it should turn out pretty well, I think. So I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to go not too different, not too drastic, but I'm just going to a few steps ahead here and get something that's a little more cropped in as to what I was pre-visualizing, at least. I'm going to adjust my exposure again. I always make sure, one of the last things I always do, this is just me, is I like to autofocus at the very end after I dial in all my settings, because when I'm dialing all these different buttons here, I have a tendency to kind of shake, move around things if it's on this ball head or the tripod, even moves or shakes. You know, stuff just can happen when you're, you know, handling the camera, really. So I always like to, at the very end, be the last thing I do pretty much, is to actually autofocus. All right, let's be first shot. Now I'm going in reverse. I exposed for the tree, and now I'm going to expose for the sky. I think it's pretty good. At least it ticks off that, you know, I got a shot for the day. So yeah, can't complain. So nice getting back out here, even though it's not too much strenuous hiking, but you can just, you know, a quick little walk in the park, bring the camera gear along, and yeah, see what you can come up with in such a small space such as this, and if there is any photographs at all. And as you can see today, kind of, you know, maybe given the right lighting conditions, I bet a nice sunrise or even sunset here, just with the wide open, you know, spaces around here, is that, you know, you get lots of light pulling in from either direction, you know, east or west, so doesn't matter. So yeah, it's a nice little park. So I guess now one thing I'll challenge, you know, the viewers here, if you are a photographer yourself, or if you just appreciate, you know, what I do, or, you know, photography in general, is to, yeah, just challenge yourself, you know, go out to the smallest parks you can get to, even if it's just like a small little pond at a community park, or, you know, a small little woodland like this, and, you know, just explore. You know, you never would have guessed this would be back here in this park, you know, because you see from the parking lot, I know I said this before, but it's like you can't judge a park by its parking lot. You know, if I just saw only, you know, the playground over there by the parking lot, and I didn't know any of this was back here, now granted, I've been here, you know, since my youth, my childhood, really, but, you know, you wouldn't even consider that, and then you wouldn't even know there's photographs back here. You know, there wouldn't be things. It's kind of like it makes it your own little special spot, because no one else really can know it, I guess, you know. You know, so you can just discover new things and new places to take images here. And so, yeah, I'll leave it at that. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. It's been Virgillato Park, and until next time, make sure to get out here. Thank you.